it. We about to go out with a bang. Y'all ready? Hands up, real quick.
So when I see these leaders, I say, hey, they have to have some words of good intention and words of intentional living. They couldn't just be putting things off for tomorrow and say, oh, later I'll deal with that. They had to have purpose and direction in their speech and the way that they live their life. So here's what we're going to talk about now. Words of good intention versus words of intentional living. And I'm going to call on you guys in a second, so y'all better be into it. So words of good intention, desire, and the word of intentional living, action. So desire would be, oh, I wished I could have made it to Catherine's event tonight. Action is, you're here, right? Right. So give yourselves a round of applause. The next one, wish, purpose. So, oh, I wish that the Bahamas would become more informed on climate change. Purpose would be, I'm going to host a panel on climate change, right? All right, y'all coming up next, y'all better get your examples of something ready, because I know this is my last one I do it, and then y'all doing the rest. Someday, today. So someday, I'm going to try that new restaurant. Today, I'm going to go and try that new restaurant for lunch or dinner or whatever. Words of good intention and intentional living is very important, because we don't want to be in this left quadrant. We want to be on the right. But reality is, some days are hard. Like, you're not into living for today. But I try to have this mindset that today is all I have. I can plan for tomorrow, but today, what am I doing with today? All right? So, as we move forward, I have 3 key points I want to talk about. 1, starting small, believing it. 2, searching until you find your why. 3, connecting with like-minded and like-valued individuals. So number 1, start small, believe big. One of my favorite preachers, Stephen Furtick says, your limitation isn't what you don't have, but what you don't use. So each one of you, your unique skills, your abilities, your perspectives are more than enough. I want you to repeat that. My unique skills, abilities, perspectives, and talent is more than enough. And I want you to say with real conviction, my unique abilities, perspective, and talent are more than enough. So let me share with you my personal story. When I returned home from school, I worked for a year after. So once I returned home from working last year, June, I got a temporary job at a local insurance company. And when that contract ended, I was stuck. Like, my head was in the sand. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. It was a really, really rough time for me. But we're going to talk about connections in a second. But I had a friend who really spoke to me. And it was like 3 occasions. She said, Katherine, you have this certification. You have all these talents. You have all these gifts. What are you doing? You're joking around. You need to get yourself together. And like when people talking to you, but you just hear it, you ain't taking it in. So the 4th time, she ran out on me. And she is like, this stops here today. You need to figure out what you're going to do moving forward. And ladies and gentlemen, today is a result of me using what I do have. I wasn't waiting for anybody to create an opportunity for me or say, do this or that. I'm utilizing my trainings. I am doing mastermind groups. I'm speaking in churches, organizations, and I'm maximizing what God has given to me. And sometimes for each one of you, that may look different. You may be on a full-time job, but Master Monroe said your real job starts after 5. So 5:01, you do you, right? So whatever your circumstance is, you find that time to build what is yours. And just adding in, one of my friends, he was in the Bahamas he was working there, and he recently got another job, but in that interim, he started to do his own soups and all these different stuff, which is good, because his family was from Andres, and I got it one time, the soup was really good, right? But when he got the job, I asked him, I said, well, you're not doing the soups no more? And he's like, he don't really think so. And I was like, well, why would you stop? And I was like, you're still getting capital. Like, out of your salary, you could just wake up early, because he used to do it on Thursdays. I said, you could wake up early Thursday morning, and then just pay somebody to deliver it, because he already had contracts with saloons, all these different things, and he was gonna give it up because he now got a full-time job. I said, that makes no sense. You know, so even when God continues to open doors for you, you have to be sensible and, you know, embrace what you had to, because that doesn't mean because one door open, you stop that next area. And honestly, today you need multiple streams of income. You can't just stay with one income. So again, your unique skills, abilities, perspective, and talent are more than enough. And like we talked about, do it now. You may need to say, I am enough. Whatever it is, you have the power to declare it, decree it, and it shall come to being. The second point. So you may say, Catherine, all right, you're making me feel good now. I feel like I could use my unique skills, my abilities, and all that, but I'm not really sure how to channel my energies, how to channel my why, and all this different stuff. So I'm going to help you out. Search until you find your why. And for some of you in here, you already know your why. But sometimes seasons shift, and your why may look different now, or you just need that encouragement to continue to pursue your why. Wherever you are at, alter it to suit you, all right? So to discover your why, ask yourself, what do I cry about? What touches my heart deeply? And Tanya's in here. I was in her studio a couple months ago, and we were off here. I don't even know if she remember this, but we were talking, and I just started crying in the studio. Because I was just like, man, I don't like these kids who are in disadvantaged situations. I just find myself praying for them throughout the day. Tanya, use my witness. I just was bawling, but that's my heart. I'm passionate about youth development and seeing young people reach their potential. So what is it that you cry about? What touches your heart deeply? What do you sing about? What is something that you would do for free because it brings you joy? I'll ask you guys that. I already talked about me. It ain't all about me tonight. It's about y'all. What do I dream about? What are 10 things that you dream about? And the next one is, what would I love to accomplish with my life? So what are some of the things that you want to accomplish? Because all this helps you to determine your why. Because that will determine, hey, do I work at this place? Do I do this? Do I do that? These are all the questions that you have to ask yourself when you're trying to discover your why. Now, when you were ready, started small, you believe big, you be making little steps. You know which direction you're headed in. Now you need the right people on board, right? You need your people. You need to connect with like-minded and like-valued people. Like-minded people have similar tastes and opinions. Like-valued people have similar beliefs and values. I was recently a part of this team that was about creating innovation and new ideas and stuff like that. And boy, I tell ya, once we started working, one time we had to work on a Sunday. And on the Sunday, I told the guy, I was like, well, I'm supposed to go to church, you know, and he said, well, the preacher, he's going to be preaching about the same thing that he preached on other Sundays. You ain't missing nothing. That ain't work, because our values obviously do not line up, right? And that was not the only area where our values didn't line up. It was the fact that I couldn't trust his leadership because I wasn't sure how far he would go, even unethically or unmorally, to achieve his goal, which it was great concern to me, because if I'm a part of something, I don't want to know that, you know, by association you could get in trouble because you're a part of something that you don't even know what's going on in the background. So it just didn't work. I had to leave that team because we were like-minded. We all wanted innovation, we wanted change, all that good stuff, but our values just didn't work. And it's important to make sure that the people that you're around, you're not only like-minded, but you're like-valued. Because if you're not like-valued, it won't work. You cannot be significant on your own. And as I was preparing for this, I thought about just my event partners, you know, NU Magazine, an author box, farm, you know, potential church. All of them have been so great in just helping this night to be a reality. And what I love so much about NU and author box, We all have different reach and all of that, but we have the same like mind and the same like value. So it was easy for me to talk to Tonya. It was easy for me to talk to Jaquay and just us unite because we had that like mind. We had that like value. So it's important to ensure that they always connect. So let's recap. We talked about good intention versus intentional living. We talked about starting small. What's the next part of starting small?
Thinking big.
Believing big. Then we talked about searching until you. And then we talked about and like values.
All things are working for my good, yeah, 'cause he's intentional, never fade.